She's thinking about someone right now, but it's not you. And here's what makes it worse. You did everything right. You texted back fast. You made yourself available. You showed her you cared. So why does she treat you like a ghost? Let me tell you something nobody wants to admit. She's not ignoring you because you're not good enough. That's the lie you've been telling yourself to make the pain easier. The truth? It's so much darker than that. Every time you reached out, every compliment you gave, every good morning text, you weren't building attraction. You were burying it alive. Think about the last message you sent her. You waited for a reply, didn't you? Checked your phone 50 times. And when she finally responded hours later with haha or cool, you felt that sinking feeling, like you're screaming into a void. Here's what she won't tell you. Your attention has become noise, white noise, background static she tunes out without even realizing it. But why? You've been taught that persistence wins, that showing up proves your worth. Wrong. Human psychology doesn't work that way. Her brain is wired to crave what it can't predict, what it might lose. And you're too predictable, too available, too safe. But what if I told you there's a switch in her mind, one single psychological trigger that flips indifference into obsession? What if the reason she's not missing you has nothing to do with who you are, and everything to do with what you haven't taken away from her yet? Most men will never understand this. They'll keep pouring themselves into women who barely notice. But you're still here, which means you're different. Let reveal the one thing that she's biologically programmed to chase, and you've been giving it away for free. There's a neuroscience study most men never hear about. Researchers scanned women's brains while showing them photos of men. Some marked interested in you, others marked uncertain. Guess which ones lit up their reward centers like fireworks? The uncertain ones, not even close. Her brain doesn't want what it already has. It craves what it might lose. This isn't opinion, it's biology. The ventral tegmental area, the part of her brain that produces dopamine, fires hardest when the outcome is unpredictable. You know what's predictable? You. Texting her every morning, liking every post, always being there when she's bored on a Tuesday night. And here's the cruel irony. The more you give, the less her brain registers you as valuable. Abundance murders attraction. It's why lottery winners become forgettable. Why is air free, but diamonds cost fortunes? Why is she thinking about the guy who disappeared last weekend, and not you? But it gets darker. Every time you're available, you create a pattern. Her brain learns it, adapts to it. And once the pattern is set, you become invisible. Neuroscientists call this habituation. The brain's way of filtering out stimuli it can predict. You're not boring, you're just expected. Now, watch what happens when you break the pattern. When your name stops appearing in her notifications. When your routine presence becomes an absence. Her brain doesn't habituate to that. It panics. Where did he go? Why isn't he? Wait, what changed? That's not indifference. That's the beginning of obsession, because the human mind can't stand unfinished stories, unanswered questions, the sudden silence where there had been noise. But here's what no one tells you. Disappearing wrong makes you forgettable. Disappearing right makes you unforgettable. Here's where most men destroy everything. They disappear, then sit in their room, refreshing their Instagram every 11 minutes. They go silent, while their life screams desperation. They think absence alone is the weapon. It's not. The disappearance without the upgrade is just sulking with better PR. And she can smell it from a mile away. Listen carefully. When you vanish from her world, you need to vanish into something bigger, not into a black hole of Netflix and self-pity, into a life so full, so visible, so undeniably moving forward that her absence becomes a footnote. First move, digital amputation. No more views on her stories. 0 likes. No late night thinking of you texts when you're weak at 2 a.m. Unfollow if you have to. Not to hurt her, but to save yourself from the algorithm feeding you her face. But here's the twist nobody teaches you. While you disappear from her feed, you need to explode into everyone else's. New gym photos, weekend trips with friends, that hobby you kept putting off. Post them, not for her, but she will see them. Through mutual friends, through the grapevine, through that curiosity she can't kill. This creates what psychologists call the curiosity gap, the space between what she knows and what she needs to know. Where did he go? Who is he with? Why does he look different? And here's the secret. Other women in your photos are breadcrumbs leading back to you. Not staged, not fake, just evidence that your world kept spinning without her. Because when she sees you thriving, 2 thoughts collide in her mind. He's fine without me, and wait, is he better without me? That second thought is a virus, and it spreads. In the next second, I will show you exactly how to become the version of yourself she can't stop thinking about. Let me tell you about the ghost effect. It's what happens when she sees you again after weeks of silence, and her brain doesn't recognize the man standing in front of her. Not because you changed your hair, but because everything about your energy has been rewired. You know what haunts a woman's mind? Not the guy who disappeared. The guy who disappeared, then came back unrecognizable. Start with the obvious. Your body is a billboard. Every pound of muscle you add, every inch off your waist. It's not vanity. It's a biological signal that screams, I invested in myself while you weren't watching. She doesn't need to see you shirtless. She can read it in your posture, the way you move, the space you take up. But here's what cuts deeper than abs ever could. Intellectual evolution. That book you've been avoiding? Read it. That skill you said you'd learn? Learn it. Because when you resurface and casually mention something that expands her world, a concept she's never considered, a perspective that challenges her, you become the rarest thing in her orbit, a man who makes her think. Now, layer in social proof. She needs to see you surrounded by people who choose you, especially women. Not because you're trying to make her jealous, though she will be, but because pre-selection is the most powerful attraction trigger evolution designed. When other women laugh at your jokes, her brain whispers, "What do they see that I missed?" But here's the weapon nobody talks about. Memory anchors. That song you both loved? Play it where she can hear it. That inside joke? Use it in a story with someone else. You're not reaching out. You're just existing in her emotional database. Timing is everything. Come back too soon. You're desperate. Too late. You're forgotten. The window is 3 to 6 weeks. Long enough for her to notice the void. Short enough that you're still a recent memory. But here's the part that separates amateurs from artists. You don't come back because you miss her. You come back because your life happened to intersect with hers again. Accidental, not intentional. That's the energy. Picture this. She posts a story. You don't respond immediately. You wait 8 hours. Then you drop something so casual it feels dangerous. Just saw this. Made me think of you. Then you vanish again for 2 days. No explanation. No, sorry I've been distant. No weakness. Just presence, then absence. Presence, then absence. You're teaching her brain a new pattern. Uncertainty. Now, here's where most men fumble everything they built. They re-emerge, then fall back into the same texting rhythm, the same availability, the same "good morning, how was your day" energy that made them invisible in the first place. Fatal mistake. When you re-enter her world, every message needs to create more questions than answers. Can't talk long, but I had to tell you this. then deliver something interesting and vanish mid-conversation. Not rude, just busy living a life she's no longer the center of. And when she asks, "Where have you been?" this is the trap. Never justify, never explain. Just smile and say, "Living differently." 3 words, that's it. Because the moment you explain yourself, you're apologizing for your absence, and apologies kill mystery. Mystery is the drug. Certainty is the antidote. But there's one more layer to this, one final psychological trick that makes her not just miss you, but chase you. Here's the truth most men never reach. Getting her to miss you was never the finish line. It was the starting gun. Because once she's thinking about you again, once curiosity has her hooked, that's when the real game begins. And this is where weak men give away everything they built. They get one text back, and suddenly they're available 24/7 again. They mistake her interest for permission to chase. They celebrate the breadcrumb like it's the whole meal. Don't. The long game is simple but brutal. You stay close enough to be felt, far enough to be chased. This is the push-pull that rewires her brain. One night, you're present, engaging, making her laugh until her face hurts. The next 3 days, silence, not ignoring, just living. She texts you. You respond 4 hours later, with energy, with interest, but never with urgency. This isn't a game, it's a standard. You're teaching her that access to you is earned, not assumed. Now watch what happens to her psychology. Every time you pull back, her investment grows. Every time she reaches out first, she becomes more attached to the outcome. Because humans don't value what chases them, they value what they have to chase. You're not manipulating her. You're giving her the gift of pursuit, the thrill of uncertainty, the addiction to earning something rare. And here's the final piece. When she finally asks, "What are we?" you already know you've won, because she's the one defining the relationship now. She's the one who can't let go. You've become the prize. But listen, if you got this far and you're still watching, drop a comment with the word "prize" right now. Because what I'm about to tell you separates men who understand this from men who embody it. Hit that subscribe button. The next video reveals the one mistake that makes her lose interest forever, even after all of this.